if you hear me, AJ, when it says, okay, it says I'm live. All right, I think it's picking up now. Okay, I'm gonna post on the group me that we're live. AJ's gonna go on the live stream right now and see if you can hear me. Go to where it's videos.
Just says week 11 recap.
Here, let me see. All right, let's see. AJ said it's not up. Try. Try this again. Oh, it says I'm live now. Okay. Hmm. It says I'm live. Get this subscribe. Okay. Hmm. All right, I'm on the stream. Try to see. Can you all? Hopefully, it's working. You're live, dummy. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. Thanks, Eric. Okay.
All right. So at least the mic's picking up. It's like this cheap Amazon purchase mic. I guess if you guys want to talk on the group me or send me text about things you guys want to talk about. I'm watching Strike Zone right now, and it's going to be a extended week. Uh, Eric says anal. I don't. I'm not about that. Uh, I like just one hole. Um, anyway, so the trade deadline ended, and not without any kind of. Not. Let me say that again. Of course, there was a little bit of drama. I don't know that, but I don't know why this is the first time that people are talking shit to each other. Um, but yeah, so there was saying that the market was gone because people already blew their draft picks already, and those who did have some to work with, they didn't want to let any remaining draft picks go. So a lot of people traded those a couple of their top five, and wanted to hang on to what they had left. So when we were at Rocco's, the market, I guess, was, a few of you said that it's gone. There's nothing really left to trade. because again, those who wanted draft picks got them early on, and those who were willing to trade them traded the ones that they were willing to let go, and they want to hang on to the ones they had left. Like I was one of those. I was willing to trade the draft picks I acquired that I had extra of. I was throwing an eighth round pick out there to a few people because I had gotten an extra eighth round from Adam, but of my top five, I had only my first and second and my fifth available, and I didn't want to let those go because I already given up my third, fourth, seventh. I've traded my 10th, and I've acquired, I think, two or three 14th round and 18th round. I acquired an eighth round. So, a lot of people were saying on the group me that the draft picks, I might have overdid it. And I'm going to leave myself shorthanded next draft, but I'll figure it out then. The position I'm in, I wanted to make a push for. I mean, I haven't won, so I think it's pretty obvious that I kind of fucking want to win now. So that's what I went for, and I might have blown a few high draft picks to put myself in a position to make that last push. But it is what it is. Um, a person who really surprised with draft picks was Alejandro. He attained a lot of draft picks, and I think he went 6-1 or 5-1 the last 6 weeks or the last 7 weeks. So you know he's not. The thought was he was playing for next year, but it looks like he's well equipped to be in the playoffs for this year. If he can, I think if he can win 5 out of the next 7 weeks, he has a great shot because you 7 and 8 are really close, and he's right there at 9. I think Dale's at 7, Carlos is at 8, and he's at 9. I'm gonna look at the standings right now. AG's in the live stream. There he is, right there. Fuck. I'm 1 for 5. Let's see real quick what Dale's doing. Extended week, so it's gonna be Dale's 1 for 2. A lot of his guys haven't gone yet. So standings are looking as such. My camera's not the best. Let's see if you can get a good. There you go. So there's a little bit of a glare, but you could see 7, 8, 9, and Alejandro's right there at 9, even with the draft picks he traded. Oh, Dodgers hit a home run. If you can't see Eric, open it up on your phone. Verdugo just went deep, tied the game 1-1. So I got strike zone on right now, so we could see first Friday back of full baseball. But going back to what I was saying, the trade deadline was today at noon. Very quiet. The biggest one that made news was the Moy and Chewy trade that claims that Chewy only trades with Moy. He was talking to me in terms of trade talks. I was going for some big ticket guys though, with for Kershaw and Kimbrel, and I guess he was getting offers on Kershaw. So um, I was talking to Dale. I was talking to Justin, and I was talking to AJ. Couldn't get anyone's done. I think I made enough trades for the season anyway. If I had to be at least one of the number one in terms of trades made, and in terms of the last like 5 years or 4 years that we've included, started doing really pressing trades, I'd probably be in the top 2 or 3 in terms of trades made. I think Moy would probably be number one. Um, not saying rankings like successful, but just how many trades were made by a team. Um, oh, so yeah, trade deadline came and is gone now. The only transaction that can be done are those who have not made their conditional ad yet, and A couple people did. I got to find out if I qualify for one with the closer I drafted. But what sucks is I'm hoping Nathan Eovaldi. The rumors are he's going to come in when he comes back as the Red Sox closer, and then I can use that conditional ad to get someone else other than a reliever. Because if I use my conditional ad for right now on that reliever that won in the DL, I'd have to get a reliever because then I'd be he'd be on the DL and he wouldn't be active on my roster. And I would have to add another reliever just so I have the two active relievers on my roster. And I think that'd be a waste of the conditional ad. So, but I got to see if that guy qualifies. He got hurt, I think, within the first month of the season, and now he's out for the remainder of the season. So, um, I don't know if that is falls within the guidelines. Um, but yeah, David made a lot of draft pick acquisitions. So hope he should be playing next year, and he got a 4 and a 7 from me, and he got I think he got he made draft trades with Eric. I'm gonna look at the transactions right now. He made a trade with Joe. Let's look at the recent transactions. So Moy and David made a trade at on Tuesday. Votto Carpenter for Tanaka and Hendricks. Okay, I saw that. Joe and David Alvarado, Kike, round 3 pick, and David traded away Riley, Trevor Bauer in the 8th round. So David got a 3rd round pick from Joe. Um, Joe made an interesting trade that with Chewy um, gave up Justin Turner and the young lefty Braves pitcher. I think it's a pending trade right now. Yeah, 2 pending trades. So, yeah, there it is. Traded Max Fried, who's 9-4 with 10 quality starts, and Justin Turner. Well, I get it. Turner's been kind of unhealthy, but he's at a 300 average. 2 for 1 and traded for Baez. So I'm assuming, Joe, that you're confident that Baez is going to make a MVP run. Um, I'm not gonna. I'm not one to say that was a bad trade or a good trade. I'm one to say if it was a fair trade. Who's texting me? Oh, stupid Democratic Party shit. Um, now I don't. I think you could have got a 2 for 2. At least had Chewy throw you a pitcher for your depth. Um, I like Justin Turner in terms of his offensive production. With Baez, like I think that's kind of a wash. I know Baez gets you the stolen bases and probably more runs scored, but I think Turner gives you the average, and I think it's a Baez younger, so I think Baez will hit more home runs than Justin Turner this year. So I think you're okay on that. I just to give up Max Max Fried or Fried, whatever, however you say his name. Chewy was hard to negotiate with, though. You to make Chewy bite in a trade, he wasn't just going to give top players for draft picks and okay players. He wanted good players, and I think you had a leg up with Justin Turner because he's a Dodger fan, so I think that helped. But 2 for 1 in that circumstance, is it fair? It must have been. I think Joe's a good judge in terms of fair trades and knowing getting um, back what you're giving out. So that was just an interesting one that stood out to me. Um, I was talking to AJ. He couldn't lock down a trade. He in the end, I think it was just more. He was saying judging a trade and making sure he got a good compensation back. Um, but yeah, Now, I want some other things that were talked about at Rocco's. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting, and I was part of this conversation. Is are teams 10 through 14 out and don't have a chance? Possibly 8, 9 through 14, but Alejandro's been making such a run, you don't want to count him out. And then on the other end, Carlos has been kind of on a losing streak. So, you know, I would say maybe Carlos and Alejandro are tied right now at 8, even though the rankings say 8 and 9 in terms of Alejandro's run and Carlos's kind of decline lately. I think that A spot is up in the air. And then with Dale, he's only, what, half a game ahead of them or a game ahead of them. So, anyway, the word is that teams 9 or roughly 10 through 14, that's it. They don't have a chance. They're out. And they're they're saying that teams 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 are what it's left and what it's going to come down to. We have we're in week 15, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 7 weeks left in the season. Um, if teams 1 through 6, I think, can pull out a 500 record or better, they will make playoffs. So I think for myself, Eric, and Adam, and Joe, those top 4 or 5 teams, even Justin, if you can get to 500 for the next remaining 7 games, I guess it's 7 games, so it's kind of an odd number. But if you can win 4 out of the 7, you're a lock for playoffs. Um, I think me and Eric's over under, it might be 3 if we can get 3 wins. Because the number 6 is Justin. Let's say Dale's at 7 with 7 wins. Dale wins the next 7 straight. He goes to 14 wins. If I win 3 out of the next 7, I go to 13 wins. Um, so it just shows you what 7th spot needs to get into the top 6, and what me and Eric and Adam have to do in order to stay in the top 6 and make playoffs. Um, so that was just something that was brought up, that it's kind of the top 7 teams, 8 teams are what's left to determine playoffs, and that everybody else is kind of done. Um, it was kind of a because Efren came later, but it was kind of a OG original full count group at Rocco's. It was myself, AJ, David, Eric, Joe, Dale, and Lewis was there, and he was part of our league. And then I know our boy Paul. We were talking about him, and he was kind of in there in spirit, and it was like an OG trade deadline hangout. We have so it was a good time. Um, but now looking into the end of these next 7 weeks, who who do I see as consistent? So the consensus on that little poll, even though like only 4 or 5 people voted, was that I was tied for the luckiest team. So I think the overall opinion of the league is that I probably won't finish the season at number 1, because I think they're thinking my luck's going to run out. But I think Alejandro would make the argument that it really comes down to luck by every week. I'm not saying I'm lucky. I think my team is a playoff caliber team. And I think anybody who's in this league feels strongly that their team is a playoff caliber team, unless you're already fire sailing. Then obviously you don't think that. Eric, I don't think there's a doubt now, and I don't think there was post his draft, but with the draft he had and the draft picks he acquired for this season, he had to pull together a top team, and he's only a half game out of first, and he held the first place spot for a few weeks. So I think there is not a doubt now that Eric took advantage and was successful in his draft this year with the advantage he had of those extra high round draft picks. So there can't be an argument that he didn't execute. He's riding the hunt to win the season. He made it very clear, Eric. You made it very clear that you're coming after me, and again, it probably won't happen unless we face each other in the championship, which I think would be a nice um, kind of full circle for the last. What was it, 5 years ago that we faced each other, and it came down to the last fucking at bat where I lost by a walk um, to Carpenter. So I think that'd be a pretty cool way to finish it off. One person who I thought did a really good job with player acquisitions and good trades, and it's been looking like a fucking good team is fucking Joe. David Dahl was a great acquisition. He's fucking beasting. Um, Again, Bias is a solid pickup. I think your pitching is very good. I did not expect Price to have such a successful season as he's doing as he did last year, but he's right there. Ryu is having a Cy Young candidate season. Uh, and then again, you have a couple other pitchers that I think you're doing well in, and the acquisitions you made, Joe, panned out really well. So strong team from Joe, and that's why he's right there in it. Only 2 games back. Adam, another season where Adam is doing well in fantasy. It seems like ever since Adam started enjoying this league, he's done nothing but been successful, whether it's fantasy baseball or fantasy football. He's made his way into the playoffs, won a couple, I think, 3 championships, along with a fantasy baseball season where he won the season and the championship, I think. Um, so he's earned his money. So, yeah, and he's another player I think that surprised himself with his draft. I know at the end of the draft, and Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, you always seem like you're not exactly confident. You you talk about like, damn, I got this player, but I'm not sure, and then you end up fucking always being in it. So now I'm thinking you're just trolling now, and you know you got a fucking badass team day one. So yeah, but he acquired Bellinger was fucking. I think in hindsight, David, you could have held on to Bellinger and got a first round pick and a badass player. Um, but hey, it is what it is. You still came out on top with plenty of draft picks, and Adam has the current MVP, NL MVP #1 candidate. So and not to mention the runner up in fucking Yelich. Great, kind of just going all over the place, but Josh Bell was a great draft pick from Adam. I think that was a surprise pick. Chapman having an All Star here, so and you got Upton for me, so not bad. In terms of another team that did well with acquisitions, I think Moyes does well. You know, people don't agree with his strategy sometimes. You know, he trades high draft picks, first round picks, um, but he's in contention. And if a person is in contention, whether you agree with their moves or not, um, you can't argue facts. And the fact is that Moy is 7-5-2, 2.5 games from first place, and right there at the sixth spot. And like I said, the consensus talk was that 1 through 8 are the only ones that have a shot at the playoffs, and he's right there at number 6. So debate what you want. I know Moy will back up his moves, and if people disagree with him or say that his moves weren't the best for his team, but the fact is he's 7-5-2 and right there in the playoff hunt. So can't argue with your boy. Uh, the defending champ AJ caught some bad luck. I know I'm might be biased, but because he's my brother, but he caught bad luck. I mean, Springer was hurt a lot of the season. Correa's been hurt the majority of the season. Rosario has been hurt. One of his pitcher that was coming out of the nowhere and having a great breakout year. Glass now for him, fucking got hurt, been out for a while. Um, who else for AJ? He's gone in and out. So the defending champ had some bad luck this year. Fuck, I didn't start Wilson Ramos. He just got a base hit on bases loaded. 2 RBI single. It's all right. I like my catcher depth. Wilson Ramos and I got Mitch Garver, so I'm all right. Um, talk a little bit about my team, my acquisitions for trades. Picked up Carlos Santana. I picked up Charlie Blackman, which at the time people were like, dude, you fucking traded away DeGrom. You traded away Garrett Cole. You're 1-2 pick. What the fuck are you thinking? Dude, that's it. And you make it work, right? So I acquired Castellanos. I acquired Charlie Blackman. I acquired Santana. Um, I acquired Barrios, Blake Snell, and a couple other players that were kind of thrown in, Jesse Winker and got back Mike Leake. But say what you want. I like my starting pitching: Charlie Morton, Jose Barrios, Blake Snell, the Bumgarner, and if I want Odorizzi in that fifth spot, but right now Mike Fiers is doing good, and you're like, you might not realize it, but as my fifth guy, Fiers, who's starting tonight, is 8-3 on the season with 13 quality starts. So, um, let's look at another team real quick. Let's look at the rookie Justin. Justin, he's definitely having that rookie luck. I think it's starting to slow down on him, uh, but he's right there in contention. So, like I said, if he can, I'd say go 4-3 in these next 7 weeks, he's a lock for the playoffs. And if a couple of guys get some crucial losses, it'll only help them. One guy that talking about my team real quick that I fucked up on. Should not have let him go, Nelly Cruz, but some trades are hits and some are misses. Anyway, so Justin has probably the best second baseman in the league in Whit Merrifield, who's he has my first base. He's first, second, and outfield tag. But Whit Merrifield is a beast. Chris Bryant having a great year. It's just his pitching, really. I mean, Maeda's can go in or out. Marco Gonzalez in or out. And then James Paxton did not have the year that I thought he was going to have. I was going to draft him high. Eric, I think you got Jermaine or German, whatever, however you say his name. He's going for you right now, throwing the shutout right now. But yeah, and his great acquisition, Montaz, for the A's, got busted for PEDs and now is suspended. So he won't even have them if he makes playoffs. And then let's see, I talked about mine. Let's look at Dale's team, who's in contention. Dale had a nice acquisition in Eduardo Escobar. Uh, Escobar is having a beast year. He is 103 hits, 296 average, 896 OPS, and about to hit 20 home runs. So he's on the verge of having 35 to 40 home run season. Quite a breakout year for him. Harper's making the turn for Dale, having to finish up the first half of the season strong and is 2 for 3 today. Benintendi is kind of, I think, not so much for Dale. And then Jose Ramirez, Dale doesn't even start him anymore. And but Marquis Simeon was someone I did not have on my radar on draft day, and the guy's having a great year for Dale. So some surprise breakouts for Dale with Simeon and Gallo, and some surprise players that were kind of let him down. And Jose Ramirez, and I would say Harper's slow start. But like I said, he's making the turn. Um, Dale had a surprise pitcher, and the fantasy magazine said Shane Bieber was going to have a good year, and he's having a good year. The Indians are right back in it for the wild card, which Dale pointed out to me at Rocco's, because I was like, dude, they're gonna shut him. They're gonna slow him down, or what's his motivation to keep pitching well? And Dale's like, they're right there in the wild card. I'm like, fuck yeah. So he's gonna be continued to pitch well. You got Garrett Cole from me, which is a great acquisition. Garrett Cole, I think, is leading the league or is in the top three in strikeouts in all of MLB. And he got Keuchel on a new team, and he picked up Syndergaard. So in a trade, I believe. So Dale made some good moves, good acquisitions, and some draft picks really panned out for him. So again, those are how it was all quiet on the trade deadline. Not really much happened. It was very uneventful. Rocco's. We're used to the traditional crazy trades being made, but the market was kind of done by then, and Ray wasn't in town to buy a player for $200-300 or whatever he does. Um, so really, the only thing to recap is the trades that were done up until that point. Uh, David was definitely an advocate, and he was on the fire sale campaign, telling teams like, "Hey, if you're not in it, make your moves now, get the draft picks that you need." And people hesitated. Um, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, if you really feel you're going to stick with your team and just do a traditional one pick, one round per round draft next year, then cool. Like that's what Efren wants to do. Cool. That's what AG's going to do. That's your strategy. But that would have made, I think, a little bit more of a exciting trade hangout day if the ones who were in David's position, who were what people think are out of it, would have made some draft pick acquisitions. I think it would have set a momentum for more trades to be done, but people didn't pull the trigger, and that's all right. That's everybody does their own team how they want to do it. Looking into the next few weeks in this final run, um, I I want to take the season, but everybody wants to take the season. And Eric's a half game behind me. I think Adam's a 1 game back. Joe's a game and a half back. It's why I'm guessing it's right here. No, Eric's a half game back. Adam's a game and a half with Justin a game and a half back. Joe's 2 games back, and Moy's 2.5, and Dale's 3 games back. So anything can happen. Dale, Carlos, and Alejandro would definitely benefit from people losing. And yeah, I think I'll maybe do another live stream closer to maybe like the last week before of the season. I'll do another video in between there. Um, and just my own kind of uploads, but I'll do a live stream again the last week of the season. So hope you guys are having a good Friday, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Baseball's back. Peace.